She's just sitting and sitting, and this one is upstairs with all her staff getting her necklace fixed and blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah. And I think I try to clock it because now we're playing games with the clock. I think it was 30 minutes that Sutton was sitting there with just. No, I think I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I mean, I do kind of do the same thing. Listen, if I walk into a party and I don't know anyone there, I don't want to talk to them. I want to wait for the person I know. So I don't blame her for just sitting there. Go on your phone. Use the time wisely. Use the time wisely, right? She's on her phone. That's what I would be doing. I'd be like, let me do something for the job. Let me get something out of the way here. So I love that she's just on the phone. Kyle Richards arrives 30 minutes later. And now Sutton is in a bad mood. Look, she's come in peace. She got there in time. Now, also, guys, you do realize once again, these are producers. There is a stacked arrival. So on Sutton's call sheet, it says, arrive at 1:15. Now, it doesn't say to Dorit to be upstairs and blah, 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 but everybody has an arrival time. So they picked Sutton to go first. They picked Kyle to go second. The time between Sutton arriving and Kyle arriving, that is spaced out. Dorit being late isn't. So when they say Kyle is supposed to arrive, 30 minutes or whatever after Sutton, that's all spelled out. Erica goes last. There's always an order to how they arrive. That is on a call sheet. You're in a car that is owned by production. If you get there early, you're literally sitting in the car and they're like, you cannot go in yet. So this is all staged. So it's staged that she goes early, but it's not really staged that Dorit would be upstairs doing her own thing. And Satine is mad. Splits Richards arrives 30 minutes later and you know Satine explains to her, I don't know where anybody is. I'm just been sitting here minding my own business. Sutton is confused. She's used to arriving at a party, darling, where you're given a welcome drink. That's how they do it in the South and at the country club in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, where Sutton lives. Well, anyway, Dorit takes the Birkin. Now, I have to tell you, I mean, the other night, I really people do it to me all the time. The other night, someone was like, "Oh," and they unbuckle my watch, and I'm like, "Please don't put my watch on, please." Like, I just don't like things like that. I don't like when people touch my stuff or take my stuff. That's just me. But this woman, we don't need to mention any names. We've been sharing some information about the Sag Harbor, but she takes and I'm like, please, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you like my watch. Please don't put it on. Your wrist is possibly bigger than mine, and you're gonna like ruin it and stretch it out. So I kind of was having a little bit of heart palpitations when Dorit took that Birkin. Girl, Satine was not feeling it. I would be the same way. I don't like when my stuff gets in someone else's hand, right? Like I'll put my bag down, I'll like welcome myself. I don't need to carry, but I don't like when someone else is holding it. Well, Dorit has let us know that she will forgive Satine if she just gives her the Birkin, and it's one of those baby Birkins, so that shit ain't cheap, honey. It's harder to make those little small ones. Like anything Louis Vuitton that's really small like that, it's always way more. So, Dorit is recalling that when she was talking about Jaga finding out about the divorce or inquiring that Satine got everybody ready for the beach house at Garcelle's, and she's still a little salty about that. Well, these two, let's just anyway, Garcelle comes and she almost fucking trips. I mean, girl, you couldn't have fallen, you could have had a lawsuit. Now, we all question where Dorit's finances are coming from. No offense to anyone, but that is what you guys say online. Hey, I'm just repeating what I read online. Don't come after me. But Garcelle, honey, you couldn't have taken a few more trips. You know what I'm saying? Cha-ching, cha-ching. We had that Monica Garcia, reality volunteer. Well, she says she fell down the steps at Angie and Sean's house, but Sean did not confirm that when he was here. He was not having it. And then we ask some other questions, and then we appear on the Salt Lake reunion. But you know what? I'm getting sidetracked. Let's stay focused, David. You should have fallen, Garcelle, gotten a lawsuit out of it, but you saved yourself. Anyway, here we are. And Satine orders the watermelon drink. And Garcelle is like, "What are you drinking?" "Well, I'm drinking a watermelon drink." "Oh, this is an innocent conversation." And Garcelle really just very innocently says, "Is there alcohol in it?" And Dorit's like, "Of course there's alcohol in it. It's Satine drinking it." And Satine does not like when we question her alcohol intake. I don't really blame her. I don't like when people now. I am like as like I mean, gosh, I used to drink when I was young, man. When did I anyone older out there? Does anyone like a little bit older or even like not old, but like you compare? I mean, is anyone else out there used to be a fun person? Because I truly, from the bottom of my heart, used to be a fun person. Really. I was like so much fun. I would go out all the time. I'd be like, just have another drink. I had no cares in the world. I don't know when life got so serious, but I would like to go back. And I don't mean like I was fun when I was like 18. Like all through my 20s, I was fun. Even in my 30s, like man, I really lived like there was, I think, I really think COVID changed me. COVID, because right before COVID, that's when I was at the Regency all the time with like Dubin, that Harry. I don't know. I really was a fun girl up until like 5 years ago. But those days seem to be over. But anyway, I don't like when someone questions my alcohol, intake. And I'm not an alcoholic. I mean, I barely touch alcohol anymore. So seriously, mood.com/velvet, 20% off. Lots of edibles. And I'm not really into like, let's go wild, but every now and then it does help you sleep. I really don't have trouble sleeping, but when I do, let me tell you, it's the best thing in the world. 20% off, and they're all really good prices. And really, you don't have to leave your home. That's the key. I don't like leaving my home. But Satine was not happy. Excuse me, excuse me. Well, this is the button to push, Dory. Well, anyway, Satine says, excuse me, and you're such a bitch. Well, I don't blame Dorit. Don't call me a bitch in my own home. I don't think that's really asking for too much. Now, should she have questioned the alcohol? No, but I also like if you call me a bitch or you have an attitude with me in my own home, you got to get the fuck out. Like I'm sorry, yeah, you got to get the fuck out if you have an attitude with with me with my own home. And then they have a flashback and they show Crystal. Like, what are we doing here? So we're showing Crystal, and she says, "Dorit, you're being a bitch," and she ain't feeling it, Satine. She's like, "I am going," and Garcelle runs after her, and I mean, let's face it.